We be live. Hi everyone. How's everyone doing? Let me know how my audio is. Let me know if you have liked the stream. It's really important for you to like the stream. So please go ahead and like the stream right now. Let me check the audio myself. And Dolly is here. Alfred is here. Thank you so much for Dolly and Alfred. Dolly is the one who helps us prepare the streams and does all the research. So thank you so much for that. Wait, hold on. Why my audio is not being checked? There we go. All right, so, okay, good. People are here. People are saying that they have liked the stream. I need to make sure that I do my own audio check. Why is this not working? All right, you guys have my audio, right? Because I don't know why my audio check is not working. So you guys need to tell me yourself if the audio is working. And also let me know if that, okay, like, and subscribe. Fantastic. You guys have my audio? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Good. Audio is good. Thank you so much, Dolly. All right, so you guys know that we just had an insane live, Twitter space between Trump and Elon Musk, and the world went crazy because of it. Tell me, guys, please let me know in the live chat if you have heard that this happened, because I think it broke a lot of records. When it comes to live audiences and the number of people that watch something, I think it broke the world record. I don't know in what metric, but it did. So it was insane. I mean, it had a whole bunch of technical issues at the beginning, but then when it eventually started, now everyone's talking about it. So you guys, people are saying that they heard about this. I want to know if most of you heard about this, because I don't want to explain it that much. So there are the part that we're on this stream is interested in is the free speech related stuff, and not just what Trump and Elon talked about with regards to free speech during their discussion, but also some things that happened surrounding before and after this discussion regarding Twitter, freedom of expression. But let's start with the discussion that they had themselves. So Dolly, thank you so much. She went and found these segments of the discussion that had something to do with freedom of speech. And by the way, guys, today I'm going to make everyone unhappy with me, because I am not, I don't do black and white thinking. I'm not all in or all out when it comes to supporting or being against somebody. So we're going to have a whole bunch of Elon fans in the live chat in our audience, and we're also going to have a lot of Elon haters in the audience, and none of them are going to be happy with me, right? Because I'm somebody who's going to be also with Trump as well. I'm going to be somebody that says okay, this what they said here is insane and it's wrong, and then also what they're doing here, what Elon is doing here is helpful, that's good for us. And then, what he said there is wrong. And no, that's going to make everyone unhappy. That's going to make the people who love Elon be upset with me because I'm saying what Elon is saying, for example, or Trump said over there is wrong or insane. And the people who hate Elon, they're also going to be upset with me because I'm saying, or hate Trump, they're also going to be upset with me because I'm going to say some of the points that they're saying is accurate and some of the attacks on them are not justified, right? So again, I'm here to piss everyone off, basically. This is why we don't have that many fans. Okay. All right, so let's see what they said here. I'm going to start with something that I probably disagree with what they said, and then I'm also going to focus on some of the attacks on Trump and Elon with regards to free speech, and to see if the attacks are justified, and should we be worried? Because right now, these are two of the most powerful people, potentially two of the most powerful people in the world, especially if Trump becomes president. One of them financially powerful, the other one politically powerful. So when two giants come and talk to each other about free speech, and other people are trying to talk and try to censor them, we have to pay attention, because we are basically all of us are going to be affected by what these people are saying. So it's very important for us to pay attention to this. Okay, so guys, somebody's saying you may get demonetized. So guys, when I get demonetized, when my videos get demonetized, it also gets deprioritized, right? And you guys need to like the stream so you fight back against the deprioritization, because less people end up seeing it, right? So make sure you like the stream. So let's watch this now.
All right, hello everyone. My apologies for the late start. We unfortunately had a massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers, and saturated all of our data lines. Like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say, and but I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation. It's hard to catch a vibe about someone if you just don't hear them talk in a normal way. And when there's an adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview. And this is really aimed at kind of.
Somebody's asking if there's any video. No, there is no video. Yeah, this is Twitter Space. Twitter Space is audio only, right? So there was no video.
Open-minded, independent voters who just trying to make up their mind, so you can understand like what is what is it just like to have a conversation. So honored to Donald, great to speak. We had a great conversation yesterday. As you mentioned yesterday, if we could just record that conversation and post it would have been excellent. And I hope we can have something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people, and it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices. Usually those are voices that have something to say that are constructive, oftentimes constructive. And so we have to consider it an honor. But congratulations on breaking every record in the book tonight. That's great.
Well, thank you. Well, I mean, maybe we could start off with, the assassination attempt, which was an incredible thing. And I have to say that, your actions after that assassination attempt were inspiring. You, instead of shying away from things, instead of ducking down, you were pumping your fist in the air and saying, fight, fight, fight. And I think that's, the president of the United States represents America, and I think that is America. That is strength under fire, and so that's a big part of the reason why I was excited to endorse you as the president of the United States for having a term here. Is that was just incredibly inspiring, but.
Okay, so first of all, I have seen a lot of parts of this debate. The whole thing is 4 hours long, so I haven't listened to all of it. But my understanding is that Elon didn't, maybe I'm wrong about this, but tell me if you guys have listened to all of it. My understanding is that Elon didn't challenge Trump on a single thing. Is that correct? Is that correct? Can somebody confirm this? Like, there was not a single thing that Elon challenged Trump on. I mean, if it's fine if you're a fan of the guy and you want to promote him, that's fine. But you have a discussion between two people, and there's not a single thing that you want to press him on or challenge him on or disagree on. Like, you have the record number of people watching this in the world, and it's just two guys agreeing with each other for 4 hours. I mean, I don't agree with myself from 5 minutes ago. How do you guys not find anything that you could disagree on and not talk about that? So that was a waste of an opportunity. Like, what the hell? Like, some of the greatest people that I agree on, if you bring them on, like anybody, like any two people, if they talk for 4 hours, at some point they're going to disagree on something and challenge each other on something, I assume, if they're trying to get to something. So that was bizarre. That you could speak for 4 hours and not disagree on a single thing. Wasn't it 4 hours? People are saying it's 2 hours. It's 4 hours. Oh, it was 2 hours? Okay, so I'm wrong about this. Thank you so much, guys, for correcting me on that it was 2 hours. Okay, never mind. But here's the thing: the reason why it's amazing that our focus once is on the free speech part of this discussion, and right from the very beginning, the discussion is about free speech and the DDoS attack. So there were glitches. And this discussion was supposed to start a lot earlier, and a lot of people were waiting, and it didn't start on time. And Elon is saying that people don't. The reason that there were glitches and it didn't start on time is because there was a DDoS attack. Like people were trying to overload the system, and that's why it happened. And he says this shows that people want to silence us. People don't want us to say what we have to say. And then Trump also confirmed that, okay, this shows that people want to silence us, right? And as an advocate for freedom of expression myself, I think it's very costly if you exaggerate the how if people are trying to silence you. Like, I'm sure there are many people who want to silence Trump and Elon, but if you try to act like you're a victim even in the times that you're not, that's going to be very costly for free speech activists around the world, because they're not going to be taken seriously, right? So this claim, it seems like Elon was just embarrassed that the event didn't start at the time that it should have been, and then he claimed that it was a DDoS attack. And I'm not saying he's lying, but I am very, very skeptical, because when I went and looked into this, this is what I found. During the live interview between, is this the right one? Yes. During the live interview between Elon Musk and Donald Trump on the platform X, formerly known as Twitter, significant technical issues arose, which Musk attributed to a distributed denied of service attack, or otherwise known as DDoS attack. However, this claim has been met with skepticism from various sources. Musk stated that a massive DDoS attack was responsible for the disruptions that delayed the start of the interview by over 40 minutes, affecting users' ability to access the live stream on X's space. And oh my God, this is such a bad name. X is such a bad name. How am I supposed to say this? On X's Spaces feature. Despite Musk's assertion, several employees at X, several employees at X disputed this explanation, suggesting that there was no such attack and that the issues were more likely related to the platform's capacity to handle the high volume of users. So Elon is saying something that the employees at X are basically saying that, nope, this was just, we couldn't just handle the volume. Experts and insiders have expressed doubts about Musk's DDoS claim. For instance, ALP Toker from NetBlocks indicated that the description of the issues and their resolution did not align with typical DDoS attack characteristics, suggesting instead that the problem were likely due to the platform's limitation in handling large number of okay, so it goes on and it explains this in some technical stuff that I'm not going to go over. But this is, I know a lot of people would just want to make fun of this, or like, oh, Elon is embarrassed, and that's why he said it was a DDoS attack. But for us, this is actually a serious claim, because, again, it's very important for you to understand that when you cry foul so many times and it's not true, it's harder for other people to take seriously. Now, when other people come and say, like, they're actually being silenced, like other people, let's say, for example, now other people claim that, oh, we're being silenced, they're attacking us here, they're silencing us there. Now, if Elon is just using this narrative of them trying to silence us to cover his own embarrassment, the world is going to take these claims less seriously, and this is going to cost us heavily. Again, I say this as somebody who appreciates how much X itself is now making it harder for social media platforms out there to censor speech that they don't like. Right? I see that. I see the effect of X. And for you and I will show you a video. So that is something that has a positive effect. The fact that X is now a place where limitation of expressions is to the minimum, like less than other social media platform, that has a huge impact on other social media like YouTube, for example. Like we have noticed much less censorship on YouTube because ever since X was bought by Elon. So it has some positive effects and it has some negative effects, and I will get to that because there is a lot of misinformation on X. We can't deny that. However, the problem: how do we address misinformation? Do we address misinformation with censorship? That's not the most effective way, and actually thinking that way is dangerous. Anyways, let's go to the second video that has something to do with free speech, and then we will go to the surrounding conversations, both about this discussion between Trump and Elon, and also about other people's opinions about Elon and X before and after this interview took place. Right? Let me see actually, and I will also read some of your comments soon. Okay. What is this? I don't know why they're highlighting this.
I think it's obvious that you're a believer and an advocate of free speech, because during your first term as president, you were attacked relentlessly every day, often very unfairly with with false attacks, and you didn't try to shut down the media. You didn't try to inhibit their freedom of speech, and I think that says a lot.
Well, the good thing is that you and I have, and some people, very few, we can get the word out. Although sometimes it's hard because they don't want to print it, like we're having a great conversation right now. Kamala wouldn't have this conversation. She can't because she's not
No.
smart. She's not a smart person, by the way. She can't have this conversation. And Biden, we don't even have to talk about it. I mean, he couldn't have this conversation. He would have given up on the first half of a question. He would have walked out. He would have said, "Where am I? Where am I going?" So anyway, but
Yeah,
no, he wouldn't have this.
that's true.
Not a lot of people would have this conversation, but we cover a lot of territory. But the beauty is that we can have a conversation, and
Yes, you
I'm
can actually
able
have a
to get it out
conversation.
without because I get
I think
treated
this is
unfairly by
a
the
really
press.
big point. You can actually have a conversation with you,
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
and you can't have a conversation with Biden or Kamala. It's like it's not possible.
That's true.
Um, so this is like talking to an NPC.
No.
So it's just
Well,
impossible.
but think of it. We need a man or person who's unbelievably sharp in order to stop all the nuclear danger and all the dangers that I'm talking about. And I got along with all these. I got along with Kim Jong Un. We had dinner, we had everything, and he really liked me, and I got along with him really well. By the way, he's the absolute boss over there. A lot of people said, "Oh, do you think he really?"
That's for
Let me
sure.
tell you, I saw things that you don't want to know about. He is the boss. But we had a good relationship, and he doesn't like Biden. He considers him a stupid man. He said he's a stupid man. Well, at least he speaks his mind. But in this country, you're not sort of allowed to say it. But I guess you are. You should be allowed to say it if
Yeah.
it's true. But we need smart people, and we need people that have an ability to lead. And she doesn't have that ability. Can you imagine? Now
Yeah.
Chairman Xi very well. Can you imagine her and him negotiating, or
No, it's
even
silly. It would be
standing
silly.
together?
I think a lot of people thought, the Biden administration would be a moderate administration, but it's not. And obviously, we're just going to see an even further left uh, administration with Kamala. That's my honest opinion. I mean, her dad is literally. I mean, she was brought up as an actual. Her dad is a Marxist economist. You can Google it. I mean, it's not a. We're not making this up. That's how she was brought up. So. And we want to have a future that is prosperous, and I think we're just at this critical juncture, and I think this is a case of the America is kind of at a fork in the road, and
It's true.
I think it will take the path to, like, you are the path to prosperity, and I think Kamala is the opposite. Then that's my honest opinion. I'm gonna get attacked like crazy, and I've also experienced quite a bit of lawfare myself. I haven't been really active in politics before, and I'm just trying to point out that my track record historically has been moderate, if not moderate, slightly left. So this is to people out there who are in the moderate camp to say, I think you should support Donald Trump for president. I think it's actually a very important junction in the road, and we're in deep trouble if it goes. I'm an advocate of free speech.
Alfred, why are you highlighting that? Like, I don't know, Sid is, don't highlight Sid's comments because it doesn't make any sense.
To say, I think you should support Donald Trump for president. I think it's actually a very important junction in the road, and we're in deep trouble if it goes the other way.
Well, I want to thank you. And, you know, I actually always did think of you as somewhat left. I must say that. So it's
Yeah.
even more of an
Well,
honor to have
yeah.
your endorsement. I know how strong you feel about it.
Thank you. People are saying that they like the stream. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so the part that they want to address is this part.
Yeah,
Hold
well,
on.
I think it's obvious that you're a believer and an advocate of free speech, because during
So Elon is saying Trump is an advocate for free speech. Why?
your first term as president, you were attacked relentlessly.
No, sorry, Alfred. Like people are saying, Paul Alfred. No, I mean, see this thing. You're unhappy. You're unwell. I'm completely fine. So why would the comment like that be highlighted? I don't understand. I'm completely fine, Sid. You're just speaking nonsense. I don't understand why we need to respond. Like we're talking, Alfred. Like we're talking. Highlight comments that is about the conversation that we're having. That's what I'm telling Alfred. No, I'm very grateful to Alfred being here and commenting, highlighting your comments. I just want the comments that are being highlighted to be about the topic about the show, not about somebody who some delusional comments about me being sad. Like what the hell? I'm not sad.
And an advocate of free speech, because during your first term.
So okay, so he's saying he's an advocate. Trump is an advocate for free speech.
You're a believer and an advocate of free speech, because during your first term as president, you were attacked relentlessly every day, often very unfairly with false attacks. And
so because Trump was being attacked by false attacks, and
you didn't try to shut down the media, you didn't try to
shut down the media. Okay, Trump is an advocate for free speech because Trump, when he was being attacked, he wasn't trying to shut down the media all the time that he was being attacked. Are you sure about that, Elon?
inhibit their freedom of speech.
And inhibit the freedom of speech, okay?
And I think that says a lot.
Well, the good thing.
And I think that says a lot. Okay, so let's look at the record. Okay. So during his presidency, Donald Trump attempted to use different methods to silence speech he found unfavorable on several occasions. So, for example, I mean, the list is long, but I'm just going to give you some of them. Threats to revoke broadcast licenses. Right? Exactly the example that Elon just mentioned. That's like, oh, you didn't try to, hold on. Let's listen to this again one more time. What did he say? What was his word?
Shut down the media. You didn't try to.
You didn't try to shut down the media. They were attacking you, and Elon says you didn't try to shut down the media. Okay, so Trump threatened to revoke the broadcast licenses of networks like NBC, which he accused of spreading fake news. Although these threats were not acted upon, okay, they were seen as attempts to, because he can't, but he tried, because the law wouldn't let him. They were seen as attempts to intimidate and silence media outlets critical of his administration. During his presidency, Donald Trump frequently expressed a desire to change the U.S. libel laws to make it easier to sue media organizations for defamation. Here are some key points. Should I read the points for you guys? Like, there's a long list of reasons. I could read the public statement and promises. I could show you why what he was doing was illegal. He was not able to do that because it was illegal for him to do that. The constitutional challenges to that, the motivation and context in which he would try to do that. I could go over all that detail, but I think you guys would be bored if I do that, right? But here's another example. Donald Trump made several attempts to challenge the legality of flag burning during his presidency, despite established Supreme Court rulings that protected as a form of free speech under the First Amendment. So, and again, I could read the details of that, but I think you guys would be bored. But that was basically, Trump basically tried to violate the First Amendment in the United States by making it illegal to protest using flag burning. So, so he tried to silence the media by taking their license away, by trying to changed libel laws so that he could sue the media, and he also tried to go against the Supreme Court, which said that burning flags in the United States are protected under the First Amendment. So not basically the opposite of what Elon said here, right? So there's that. However, let's go now try to defend Elon as well, not just attack him. I know a lot of you guys are going to hate me for saying these things, but I'm just going to say the positive and the negative, okay? This is how it works here. So somebody's saying Trump does not control the media, the left does. Well, based on his record, if Trump did control the media, it would have been worse. Like, he would be more censorial. Like, Trump can't control the media, but if he wanted to control the media, it seems like he would have been more censorial than left based on the things that he tried to do but couldn't do. So anyways, let's go to this one. This is insane, by the way, right? Look at this. What is this video? Let me actually make sure. This is video number 1. So, oh, this is at the White House. Oh my God. So these are I don't know who this journalist is. This is the White House press briefing, and this is so I don't know who's asking the question, but the press secretary is answering the question. I don't know who this guy is, but he's asking the government to do something about the speech on Twitter, on X. So listen to this.
The president is going to tune in. Feel free to say if he is or not. But I think that misinformation on Twitter is not just a campaign issue. It's a America issue. What role does the White House or the president have in sort of stopping that, or stopping the spread of that, or sort of intervening in that? Some of that was about campaign misinformation, but it's a wider thing, right?
Yeah, no, and you've heard us talk about this many times from here, about the responsibilities that social media platforms have when it comes to misinformation, disinformation. Don't have anything to read out from here about specific ways that we're working on it, but we believe that they have the responsibility. These are private companies, so we're also mindful of that too. But look, it is. I think it is incredibly important to call that out as you're doing. I just don't have any specifics on what we have been doing internally as it relates to the interviews. Not something that I'm tracking, and I'm sure the president's not tracking it either.
Okay. So so the question was very alarming. Technically, she answered correctly, but she didn't answer it as directly, as forceful as I wish she did. Right? She should have been like, "What the fuck are you talking?" She should have been, "What the fuck are you talking about? You want the government to get involved in fighting misinformation and censoring opinions that the government is finding? Do you not? Are you trying to ask the White House to violate the First Amendment? Is that what you're asking? Look at the question again. Listen to this.
Feel free to say if he is or not. But I think that misinformation on Twitter is not just a campaign issue. It's a America issue.
Okay, so misinformation on Twitter or X is saying it's an American issue. Okay, so it's a world. Misinformation anywhere is a world issue. So what's your point?
What role does the White House or the president have in sort of stopping that, or stopping the spread?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely zero. The government, not just the president or the White House, no part of the government should have any role in trying to stop misinformation. That is up to us, the citizens of a country. We are supposed to fight misinformation, not with censorship, but with good information, but with correct information. You just provide the platform and the framework and the safety and security for us to be able to compete. Just give us the opportunity for us citizens to fight bad information in a fair game. You stay out of this game. You stay out. You are responsible for just providing the framework as the government. A safe space for all of us to fight each other And if you provide that space, the good ideas eventually will overcome the bad ideas. You should have no role. You as the government should have zero role in fighting misinformation. Stop asking the government to come fix things for you. You have the responsibility to fight misinformation yourself, not with censorship, but with providing the correct information and the reasons why they are the correct information. It's your job. Not everything is the government's job. How is she not responding like, hey, may I refer to you to the Constitution? Have you read the Constitution? This is not Europe. This is not the UK. Okay, we actually have free speech here, and we have zero roles in actually trying to fight misinformation. That's your job. Aren't you a journalist? Why are you asking the government to do your job? You're the journalist. You go fight misinformation. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. But okay, so technically she's answering it, but not as directly as I mean, she should have mentioned the First Amendment or something. But she didn't. Listen to this.
Part of that, or sort of intervening in that. Some of that was about campaign misinformation, but it's a wider thing, right?
Yeah, no, and you've heard us talk about this many times from here about the responsibilities that social media platforms have.
So she's basically saying what I'm saying it, but she's saying what I'm saying, but not as aggressively as I was on the truth. She's saying this is the responsibility of social media. Basically, I know why she's saying that, because if she says that that's not our responsibility, a lot of people, she's the Democrat, she's representing the Biden administration. There are a lot of leftists who are concerned about how right-leaning Twitter is becoming, and they want anybody saying something that doesn't seem to be aggressively anti-Elon or anti-X might come off as might cost them in the election. So instead of saying this, she's actually being very political and clever. Instead of saying it's not our responsibility to do that, she's saying it's their responsibility. It's the social media's company's responsibility to do whatever they are doing. Right. So basically, she's saying it's not my responsibility. It's not our responsibility. Okay?
Platforms have when it comes to misinformation, disinformation. Don't have anything to read out from here about specific ways that we're working on it, but we believe
you shouldn't be working on it. You shouldn't be working on it. It's none of your fucking business. You are supposed to just stay in your lane.
That they have the responsibility. These are private companies, so we're also mindful of that too.
No, basically she's saying that be mindful of that means that we have no jurisdiction telling private companies what to do with their business. That's what I mean. The government has no right to tell how private companies conduct their business. That's basically what she's saying.
Look, it is. I think it is incredible.
I mean, she is being pretty smart. Like, a lot of you would want her to be more forceful, but again, she's trying to make sure that her party does not pay the cost from all these leftist lunatics, like thinking, not showing up into the election. So she is being political about it. It is smart.
Important to call that out as you're doing.
She's like, it's important to call that out as you are doing. See, this is basically what I said, but much more subtle. She's saying that, it should be called that. Misinformation should be called that, and it's important to call it out as you're doing. Basically saying, basically hinting that's what you're supposed to do. Call it out. Like, what do we do? What do you want from us?
I just don't have any specifics on what we have been doing internally as it relates to the interviews. Not something that I'm tracking, and I'm sure the president's not tracking it either.
Anyways, actually talking about government overreach, let's go to a place where to a land without the First Amendment, which is Europe, right? Who is this guy? Let's see actually who this guy is, right? So before the Elon and Trump discussion on Twitter or X or whatever, this guy, let's see actually who's this guy? This guy is what is his name? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Breton. So he's a European Commissioner for Internal Really? Wow, you actually have internal in your name. Internal market, and look at this. So he's not being very internal. He just before the discussion between Trump and Elon, he posted this letter warning Elon, which is insane. So basically, he sent a long letter to Elon warning him about the live stream that he's about to do with Trump and how it might violate EU regulations. EU regulations. So you have an American citizen talking to another American citizen, former president, okay, in the United States, and this guy is sending a letter and warning Elon that their discussion might violate EU laws because it's on Twitter and people in the EU have access to it. If that's the standard, anyone having any conversation online, no matter where they're from, they should be subject to EU laws. Like, guys, I'm not in the EU. I'm not a citizen of any EU country. But now, do I have to now follow EU laws because I'm on the internet and people in the EU can listen to me? I have. What is this? Do you guys want this? I mean, I can read this for you. I think you guys might get bored if I read the entire thing for you. But I have made ChatGPT summarize it. Do you want to hear the summary? I could play the summary of ChatGPT of this letter. Do you guys want to hear it? Hold on. Let me actually bring let's actually read the summary. Let me play the summary for you.
This letter is from Thierry Breton, a member of the European Commission, addressed to Elon Musk. It discusses concerns about recent events in the UK and a planned live conversation on the social media platform X, formerly Twitter, between a US presidential candidate and Musk, which will also be accessible in the EU. Breton reminds Musk of the legal obligations under the Digital Services Act, DSA, which applies to X as a very large online platform. The letter emphasizes the need for Musk to ensure that X complies with EU laws, particularly regarding the moderation of content that could incite violence, hatred, or disinformation. Breton mentions that formal proceedings are already ongoing against X under the DSA due to concerns about the dissemination of illegal content. Breton urges Musk to take immediate and effective measures to moderate content on the platform and to report any content moderation actions taken. The letter also warns that any negative effects of illegal content on X in the EU could be attributed to non-compliance with the DSA, and Breton states that the European Commission will be vigilant in monitoring the situation and will not hesitate to take measures if necessary to protect EU citizens from harm.
Okay, so you guys heard all of that, right? Did that audio play for you? Wait, so two people outside of the EU who are not EU citizens, if they're having a conversation online, they have to make sure that their conversation is complying with EU laws. What? So the EU censorship is not like we are always worried about all of these laws in EU trying to censor people's, freedom, violating people's freedom of expression. But apparently, the EU itself is not the territory that they want to enforce their laws on the entirety of the internet with the excuse that what's on the internet is also available in EU. What the hell? Like you want to enforce your laws on everything that is online? What? Oh my God, the censorial attitude that they have. What's happening in the EU? Are you serious? You guys heard all of that summary that I played for you guys, right? Was it play? Let me know. Are you insane? This is how you deal? Because by the way, I'm not somebody. I mean, a lot of people respond to this, and I think in a wrong way. They say, like, when they say, "Oh, Elon Musk is spreading a lot of misinformation. Trump is spreading a lot of misinformation," or Twitter or X is spreading a lot of misinformation, and that's why it should be censored. And a lot of you guys respond like, no, they're not spreading misinformation. That's why they shouldn't be censored. No, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. I mean, I think there's a lot of misinformation on Twitter, but the response shouldn't be censorship. This is government overreach. A lot of you who support free speech, when you see actual speech that you disagree with, then you become you come up with exceptions. You're like, okay, I'm a free speech advocate, but I'm not an absolute. There are limitations, and the way I agree, there are limitations. The limitation is, for example, a direct threat to violence. But a lot of you guys are free speech activists until you hear speech that you don't like. That's why a lot of you guys are maybe in favor of censoring, promotion of Islam, because like, oh, there should be limitation on free speech. For example, promotion of Islam. Like, no, what are you talking about? If you allow the government to come in and censor speech, then you have no control over it anymore. What they're going to censor next? The best way to fight bad ideas is with better ideas, not with censoring bad ideas. So when it comes to Elon or Trump or Twitter, don't defend their right to freedom of expression by saying they're not spreading misinformation. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. The point is not whether or not what they're saying is correct or not. The point is that even if it's incorrect, even if all of it is incorrect, it should still not be censored. Anyways, let me show you how. This is just for comedic effect. Let me show you. Let me show you how Elon decided to respond to this. It was beautiful. It was funny. Okay, here. So this was the tweet from Brenton, and Elon quote tweeted him. What is this? What is this meme template? I'm not. I think I have it somewhere here. Hold on. What's the reference here? So people know this reference. This is apparently. Oh yeah, it's a Tropic Thunder meme. So the Tropic Thunder meme is saying, "Take a big." So this is the response to this EU commissioner, and you have a long, formal, legal letter with like political speak and stuff, and Elon responds to it, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face. This is such a okay. I don't care if you love Elon or you hate Elon. I'm somebody who both criticizes Elon and sometimes enjoys Elon, right? I'm not black and white about it, but this was such a this was such a, I don't know. I enjoyed the response. I don't know if you enjoyed this response. I did. I enjoyed it. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This was good. I enjoyed it. Anyways, let's go to see some other problematic people saying stupid stuff about like censorship and violating people's free speech. So let's look at that. By the way, guys, what's happening in the EU? Like, is the EU, is there a pushback? I know that the UK was trying to introduce a law that was limiting, that was trying to be very censorial when it comes to social media. And that law, thankfully, didn't get passed because the UK said it violates, it's too much of a violation of free speech. But I don't know, the EU seems to be a lot more aggressive when it comes to being censorial. And this is what I like about X, which will go back. I mean, as much as I agree that X has become a place where there's a lot of misinformation spreading, that true. But at the same time, the fact that it's a place where anything can be said makes it much more difficult for other social media companies to be too censorial. But anyways, let's listen to this guy.
I mean, he's running into trouble in the court of public opinion by making completely outrageous statements and amplifying
Oh, so wait, he's talking. Well, actually, I should read the context for this one so we know what this guy is talking about. So this guy is claiming that Elon Musk is amplifying misinformation. Okay, sure, I'll give you that. Is Elon Musk amplifying misinformation? Sure. What are you going to do about it? What's the solution? Listen to this.
I mean, he's running into trouble in the court of public opinion by making completely outrageous statements and amplifying misinformation on Twitter. But theoretically, a government could geo-restrict access to a platform if the situation got so bad that being on this platform would actually pose a danger to citizens. I mean, it's not completely unprecedented. I mean, other countries have temporarily banned access to, for example, TikTok.
Yeah.
So it is possible that the UK government could temporarily put a restriction on access to Twitter. They could also be banned from the App Store for violating policies, which would be a huge threat to their business model.
All right, let's respond to this. This is so dangerous, and a lot of people agree with this. This is that I don't want to be hyperbolic, but this is one of the most dangerous ideas to democracy, to everything that we're finding. Everything we are fighting for is impossible to defend if we don't have this one right, which is freedom of expression. And we need to fight back against government overreach. Fighting misinformation is our job. It's not your job. We need to fight back against, guys, even if the government is coming against the speech that you hate, that you absolutely hate. Like you might feel like, okay, this is the time that I justify it. Let's say that you hear a piece of speech or an opinion that you hate with every fiber of your being, you hate that speech. You might get tempted. Be careful. You might get tempted to, if the government comes after that speech, you're like, I like this. I don't want to fight back the government. I don't want to fight back against the government for this one. This speech is, this one speech is especially bad. This one specific speech is, okay, maybe we should say just this one, just this tiny little bit of speech. Just censor this one. Just this one, okay? Not anything else, just this one. No, stop it. Defend that speech, even if it's vile, even if it's wrong. You fight it. Don't let the government fight it. You fight it. Don't let the government fight it. It's not their government's job. This is how they get in. This is how government gets the control. This is how the government will come for the rights that people have bled for. People have died for this. People have bled for this. This is what the foundation where all the other rights that you have is built based on this fundamental right. Don't let it go. This is how governments come and take your rights away. It's not at the end of the barrel of a gun. It's not with violence. It's with fear. It's with convincing you that this particular instance, this example is where it's very dangerous. This speech is very dangerous. Oh, you don't like it. I don't like it. You don't like it. They convince you that their rights that other people died for and bled for, instead of like taking it away from you with violence, they take it away from you by convincing you, by scaring you, by showing you something that is actually scary. And because you're afraid, you want the protection of the government, you give away your rights, you give away your freedom because you're afraid, for security. It's the most repetitive play in history of the fight between security and freedom. For the sake of security, you give away your freedom. It's hundreds of years of people fighting for your rights. Government has to scare you once, and you just give it away for free. Who said that? Was that Benjamin Franklin, or was it somebody else who said that those who give away their freedoms for the sake of security, they get neither their freedom or their security? They lose both. But listen to this. Let me tell you what the problem with this narrative is.
He's running into trouble in the court of public opinion by making completely outrageous statements and amplifying misinformation on Twitter. But theoretically, a government could geo-restrict access to a platform if the situation got so bad that being on this platform would actually pose a danger to citizens. It's not.
So look at this. He's saying if the misinformation is so bad that it poses a danger to society, then the government come and basically ban certain social media in that geographic locations. Okay. By the way, this is why VPNs are so important. Okay. use our link for VPN for NordVPN in the description if you don't have one. But look at this. He's saying if these platforms become so dangerous because of this misinformation, then the government has to step in. Do you know? Let's say I agree. Misinformation is dangerous. Misinformation harms society, but you're trading one harm with a bigger harm. As bad as misinformation is, government entering the scene and trying to control information, that's a bigger harm than the harm that misinformation is to society. So you scared us of a monster, and you brought a bigger monster. You brought us a bigger monster. Government controlling speech is a bigger threat to society than misinformation. Look at this again. He's saying,
being on this platform would actually pose a danger to citizens. I mean, it's not
a danger to citizens. Like, have you not just look at history? What is more dangerous to citizens than a government that decides what is correct and what is not correct? You want a truth ministry? This is what they want. They want a truth ministry. The government deciding what is correct speech and what is incorrect speech. That is up to us. We decide as citizens. We have to compete. We have to compete in a I know some people have made this word cringe, but it is what it is. It's a marketplace of ideas. It's basically market Darwinism, but instead of between goods and services, it's a Darwinism of ideas. You have to let the ideas compete with each other. No centralized authority is going to be as effective at recognizing what ideas are better, what ideas are true, what ideas serve humanity, than a Darwinian model that makes put ideas against each other and allows to see which one of them survive. That organic competition, that evolutionary process that only arises from the competition between ideas, the outcome of that is superior than any centralized authority deciding what is correct and what is incorrect.
Completely unprecedented. I mean, other countries have temporarily banned access to, for example, TikTok.
Yeah.
So it is.
This is why a lot of you were. I told you guys that you were wrong to support the TikTok ban. This is why with all of you, when you saw so many cringe posts on TikTok, when you saw that on TikTok people were supporting Hamas, were anti-Israel, where they were promoting Islam, you're like, oh, ban TikTok, ban TikTok. Look at the precedent you set, that you have set. This is the precedent. If you can ban TikTok, then if you now come and say like we shouldn't be banning Twitter, what grounds do you have to stand on to say to tell people not to ban Twitter? Are you going to cry, oh, like where's free speech now? When they're banning X or Twitter, when you yourself were advocating for banning TikTok? Why? So censorship is bad only when they're censoring the speech that you like? You should have been protecting TikTok as well, even if it is spreading misinformation. It's speech. Don't fight bad speech with censorship. If you support a TikTok ban, then now you have no grounds to stand on if you want to be against a ban on Twitter. Also, a lot of you who type in the chat, ban Islam, ban Islam, ban Islam, ban bad ideas. Well, if the governments have the authority to ban Islam, they also have the authority now to ban the ideas that you like. Ban Twitter. Why not ban Twitter? Who's to say that the ideas that you're saying are the incorrect ones, or the ideas that they're saying are the incorrect ones? Just how about we don't ban anything? How about if an idea is bad, we just expose it for the bad idea that it is? Don't ban Islam, don't ban TikTok, don't ban Twitter or X. Let us decide. Maybe treat your citizens as grown-ups who are given the tools for them to be capable of recognizing bullshit from fact. How about that?
It's possible that the UK government could temporarily put a restriction
Okay, so somebody's saying, Armin, who are you talking to? I never said TikTok should be banned. Well, then I'm not talking to you, Sandra. If you didn't say that, then I'm not talking to you. Obviously, I'm talking to the people who said we should be banning TikTok.
On access to Twitter. They could also be banned from the App Store for violating policies, which would be a huge threat to their business model.
Anyways, let's listen to this guy. Who's this guy? This guy is apparently famous, and he has had a huge. Is this guy Hamza Yusuf? Yes, this guy is Hamza Yusuf. This guy and Elon do not like each other at all. I think Elon just recently came and called him a racist against white people. So that's another fight that I'm not going to get into. But let's listen to what this guy is saying. This is Hamza Yusuf, right? Am I right? Let me actually check if I'm getting this right. Yes, it is. It is him. Let me actually read the context for what the hell is happening here. Yeah, okay. This is Hamza Yusuf. This is Hamza Yusuf blames Elon about disinformation about Muslim migrants. So let's listen to this.
He has, of course, in the past said that Muslims are a fifth column in the UK, waiting to kill people in the UK. He has said that migrants are coming here to take us over. He started the general election campaign by saying many...
I mean, I don't know if Elon has said these things, but it depends on how he said it. Is he generalizing or is he talking about specific people? Because I'm assuming that you're misrepresenting. I don't know, actually. But if anybody talks about all migrants or all Muslims in general ways, obviously that's wrong. But so many times I've seen that when other people talk about what other people have said, they change what they have said. Like if they had said something about some specific group of people, actually, let me play something from Elon because I think he's misrepresenting Elon. They act like they are saying something about all Muslims or all migrants, and then I go listen to the original thing that they said, and it seems like no, they were saying that about specific groups within this community and not about all of them. So this is a straw man. You're acting like they're generalizing, and often when I go check, they aren't. So let's listen to
campaign
this.
By saying many Muslims do not share British values. If they're
Many Muslims do not share British values. Yeah, that's true. Half of the Muslims in the UK support Hamas and support close to half of Muslims in the UK support the October 7th attack. So this is true. Like this is statistically we have data for this. So how is that misinformation? Oh, Elon is actually, let me just play the whole thing through and then I will respond to it because we want to make sure that we understand what he's saying.
He has, of course, in the past said that Muslims are a fifth column in the UK, waiting to kill people in the UK. He has said that migrants are coming here to take us over. He started the general election campaign by saying many Muslims do not share British values. If there is a dog whistle to be blown, then Nigel Farage will always be at the very front of the queue. As for Elon Musk, he is I would suggest, one of the most dangerous men on the planet. He uses his billions. He is unaccountable to anyone to amplify far-right white supremacist ideology. He has, as you have rightly said, suggested, I think, is hoping for civil war in some parts of Europe, including in the UK. And instead of using X as a platform for good and using his enormous wealth for good, he is using it, I think, for the most wicked evil possible. And in terms of regulation, let me say this is something
being hyperbolic much
that the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, will now have to think seriously about what more needs to be done. We need to have better regulation to
so regulation. You want to ban X, you want to reduce people's freedom of expression. Great.
Seriously about what more needs to be done. We need to have better regulation to ensure that we don't have the kind of disinformation that has run rampant in the last week be allowed to do so in the future with such devastating consequences.
Yeah. By the way, this guy, I've listened to him. This guy is a racist against white people, and I think like he now wants to. He's trying to fight Elon because Elon accused him of being racist. Yeah, this guy is racist. But anyway, I saw actually in the same discussion that Elon and Trump have been having, I saw actually Elon mentioning something about migration, and he was very sympathetic towards migrants. I don't know, but yeah. So this guy is advocating for regulations, more regulation. But let me see if this was the part of the
of legal immigration, but we also need to shut down illegal immigration, and especially unvetted illegal
Yes.
immigration, because and that's not the same as saying that everyone who's an illegal immigrant is bad. In fact,
see, look at this. He said, so that Hamza Youssef guy is saying that, oh, Elon is saying all Muslims are trying to take over and all migrants are evil and he's a white supremacist or whatever, far right and all of that stuff. But Elon is saying not only he's defending migrants, he's even defending illegal migrants. Elon is even defending illegal migrants. He's saying not all. I mean, I didn't expect this. I expected like some people like who are speaking against mass migration and illegal migration to say, this is what they come and say, like, oh, we love legal migrants. If it's like regulated and limited, we love them. We just don't like mass migration and illegal migration. I didn't expect Elon to also go and talk about how good illegal migrants are, which is completely different from the generalized explanation. Like Hamza Youssef made it act like he's just anti-migrant in general, and he thinks that these people are coming to listen to Elon again.
To say that you're supportive of legal immigration, but we also need to shut down illegal immigration, and especially unvetted illegal
Yes.
immigration, because and that's not the same as saying that everyone who's an illegal immigrant is bad. In fact, I think most people who are illegal immigrants are actually good, but you can't tell the difference unless there's a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Does that?
So I'm not going to get into this, but it's not just that. It's not that we cannot tell the difference. Is that even if they are good, this country is not going to be able to take care of more people if you just allow illegal, unlimited number of a huge number of illegal immigrants. Right? Yes, some of this, the point is that, so he's correct. Many of these illegal immigrants are good people, and you could like, Armin, how are they good people? They're violating the law. Well, I mean, if a lot of us, if we were in their position, we wouldn't care about, like, if I saw my child, not all of them, some of them are very horrible people, obviously, right? But some of them, you would violate the law if you were in their position as well, right? Because if you are in such a horrible condition, then if you could get a heads up in life, you wouldn't care about whether or not you're violating the law, right? But again, as a nation state, I am not able to take care of everybody just because they're good people. Because if I try to take care of everybody, I'm not going to be able to take care of anybody. I have to provide, I have to protect. I mean, there are a lot of people who are deserving of better lives. But I would not be able to give a good life to anybody if I do not protect the framework in which a better life is possible. I have to protect my borders. I have to protect this nation state. I have to protect the values that make this society a much more advanced, a better society. And when we are in a strong and comfortable position, then yes, we will take care of some other people in need, but not. It has to be regulated. It has to be limited. It has to be filtered. It has to be orderly, and some people are going to be left behind. Again, if I want to take care of everybody, many people are going to be left behind. They always say if a plane is having turbulence, you have to put the mask on yourself before you put the mask on anyone else. You have to protect. You have to take care of your own nation state first, or else you're not going to even be in a position to take care of anyone else. So even if you could identify who's a good person, who's a bad person, you can't even allow unlimited good people in. Anyways, let's go to this next video. But again, I just want to show you that video because I wanted to show you how dishonest Hamza Youssef is about the characterization. Again, I have many criticism, a lot of criticism for Elon Musk. There are many things that he says that are like, oh, Right on. That's very correct. And there are a lot of things that he says. I'm like, oh my God, that is insane. What the hell? This guy has lost it, right? And that's how you should be, I think, with most people, right? Like even with Tommy. Tommy comes here and talks about the need to protect the country, the need to be a patriot and defend your nation state. I'm like, oh, fantastic. And then he talks about, I don't know, some conspiracy theories. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell? Like I think that's the proper way to talk about anybody, including yourself. Even if you're analyzing yourself, you're like, oh my God, that thing that I said a year ago, that was insane. What the hell was I saying, right? So that's the natural, like, I get. So I don't know why people become so tribal regarding the people. Like, either this person is like, oh, a God's gift to mankind, or he's the devil reincarnate. I guess one of these two. Anyways, but here's something. I just want to, this video, I just wanted to celebrate something because, yeah, again, I do agree that X or Twitter is now a major source of disinformation, but that gives us a challenge. That's like, okay, here, citizens, here's a challenge for you, okay? Not the government. Go fight this misinformation. Go be present there and correct people, okay? But, so that's the misinformation part is true. I agree with that. On the other hand, I have to also accept that X as a whole has been a huge positive influence when it comes to making it difficult to limit speech and expression online, which is online is basically where most people are having discussions anyways, right? And I want to just show you the motivation behind it, because a lot of people are making fun of Elon because of he's losing a lot of money because of this, because Twitter is not, or X is not advertiser friendly anymore, and he doesn't seem to care. And I don't know how long this is going to last. Is he going to lose a lot of money from Twitter or X until he cannot even afford to keep the whole place running? But the motivation was to support freedom of expression. And I do admire that. So let's listen to this video.
I acquired X in order to preserve freedom of speech in America, the First Amendment. And I'm going to stick to that. And if that means making less money, so be it.
Yeah. I admire that. I admire that. Again, with many things he says that I don't admire, but I admire this. This is good. This is something that we need to celebrate. And I myself as a content creator, I have noticed the ripple effects of what he's doing on places beyond X. Oh, thank you, Event 101. Let me respond to some of, again, thank you, Dolly and Alfred. Guys, say thank you to Dolly and Alfred, because these shows would not be possible without them. Alfred comes here and spends time highlighting your comments and starring the ones that he wants me to read. Dolly is just doing most of the work for making the streams possible, so thank you, Dolly. But let me see what comments has Alfred highlighted for me. Somebody saying, what's Atheist? Okay, saying, what's happening in Iran right now? I heard there was a cyber attack on the banks. Well, I haven't heard about that. I'm going to go look that up right now. So thank you. I didn't know. Thank you for informing me. I just know about the electricity cuts right now. There's a lot of electricity cuts in Iran because they can't afford to pay. The government cannot provide. An oil and gas rich country is incapable of providing electricity to its citizens, and a lot of people are angry. And there were protests regarding the electricity cuts. So I don't know about this thing that you just said. How recent is that? I will look that up. Jack is saying, I like the stream. Question. Oh, thank you for liking the stream. Is it okay if I take a segment of your streams and upload it as a video on my channel? I have one video already. If it isn't fine with you, I'll remove it. No, go ahead. Please go ahead, Jack. You have my full permission to go ahead and do that. Thank you so much for spreading the, we're not going to copyright strike you. You have my permission. All right. So, and the more people see what we are saying, hear what we're saying, the better. And guys, please recommend this channel, subscribe to this channel, recommend this channel, promote this channel, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Hit the bell notification. Okay. So, I don't know how to pronounce your name. That Jewish guy in the chat. Okay, that Jewish guy in the chat is saying, Biden said he will not allow Trump to take power peacefully. Biden said he will. Huh? What? Biden said he will not allow Trump to take power peacefully. I haven't seen that. If I see that, I will probably react to it. That sounds insane. Sahih al-Bukak. It's like, I'm pretty sure Elon gave him a platform just as a principle against the left, and big companies as Meta and Google pushing the other side. Okay, I don't know how to respond to that. I still do think Elon should have challenged him on a couple of things and showed some disagreements. And again, so another comment saying democracies, I think. Democratics? Do you mean democracies? Democratics? Oh, democratics, that Greek guy. Said that, oh no, somebody, Democratic said the interview must be stopped. You say democracies? I don't know what you're saying, sorry. People hate them because propaganda is everywhere. I don't hate or love them. I'm always neutral. I don't think you're always neutral. Everybody has their biases. If you think you're always neutral, is because you're not. Probably it's because you're not as aware as your biases. Everyone has biases. It's impossible to remove. It's almost impossible to remove your biases. So if you think you're neutral, dig deeper and try to find your biases. Google owns. Oh, what are you saying? Trump on YouTube gets you demonetized. Google owns YouTube. I don't know what you're saying. The idea of the left negotiating with Iran is scary. Okay, I'm not going to respond to that. So Zagros is saying something that I actually might disagree with. Zagros is saying right now Trump is the only candidate that can and will derail the woke revolution of the neo-Marxist postmodernist death cult. Actually, I think it might be the opposite. Because the woke mob became so powerful when Trump was the president, because they had an enemy that they could grow on, right? The woke mob needs a enemy to rally against. And you can see during Trump's presidency, they grew so much because they were using Trump as a fear-mongering tactic, and liberals rallied around the woke against Trump. So the woke probably wants, if they knew what was good for them, they probably might want Trump to become president. And you could see the woke influence was reduced significantly. The woke, actually, their influence peaked during Trump's presidency. And ever since Trump hasn't been the president, their influence has been reduced ever since. So I'm not saying this will repeat. Maybe it will be the opposite if Trump becomes president again. I'm just saying that we don't know that because the woke mob was more powerful during Trump's presidency last time. So I'm not saying this is not a law like social sciences and politics. It's not like math or physics where things are supposed to work according to a formula. There's so many multiple factors that you shouldn't be able to predict things. If somebody is predicting what will happen if this happens in social sciences and politics, then they are full of shit, because the factors at play is so large that makes the predictive power of social sciences is very low. You could make, you could make some broad suggestions for how maybe some things are more likely. If A and B happens, certain things are become somewhat more likely, but you cannot make absolute predictions, because this is not like math or physics where things, it's not as rigid, it's not as mechanical, it's more organic, it's more multifactorial. It's so multifactorial, it's according to so many variables that no human mind could comprehend all of them at once and come up with absolute predictions. So even what we have on record is the opposite of what Zagros said, but maybe going into the future, maybe it might be different. Maybe he's right. Maybe this time it will be different, but we don't know. When you're talking about society or politics, it's easier to just see what's happening and explain what's happening rather than trying to figure out what is going to happen in the future. And even if you want to predict what's happening in the future, you have to predict it with a very heavy dose of skepticism. A very, very heavy dose of skepticism. But it's better to mostly focus on explaining what's happening now or what happened in the past, rather than predicting what's going to happen in the future. And if somebody is very confident about their predictions for the future, they're not justified. You should take them less seriously. All right, guys, I'm going to head out. I'm going to go see if I'm going to do a Persian show or not. Let me actually respond to this comment. Uncle saying it's all Armin. It's all good on paper, but in real life, you cannot educate millions of brainwashed people. It's not about having to educate billions of brainwashed people. It's about the wisdom of the crowd. It's an emergent property of many ideas competing with each other, and the tension and conflict between ideas. You get a sort of wisdom from the crowd that is beyond the wisdom of individuals, right? So I do agree, if you educate individuals, the wisdom of the crowd might improve, but you don't require the education and awareness of the entirety of the crowd for you to get a wisdom of the crowd that is superior to any expert. So let me give you an example, right? So this is an emergent property of simple interactions between individual members of a colony or a society, or within evolution, or within the markets. This is exactly how the markets, this is why communism fails as well, because no matter how smart you are never going to be as smart and informative as so you don't need people to be absolutely rational. The information, so for example, in a market of goods and services, when I go buy a gum and I decide that I want the strawberry flavor over the lemon flavor, that's a piece of information that I just entered to this entire process, to this entire competition, to this entire system, that it will reflect itself as an emergent property. So I don't need to be an extremely rational player to make the wisdom of the crowd a lot more wise than individual experts. I just need to know that as an individual, I like the strawberry taste more than the lemon taste, and I will enter that data into the system with my wallet by buying the strawberry flavor. So you don't need to be extremely rational. You just need to have that information, and no centralized authority is going to be able to collect all that information and make correct decisions based on that, better than the market organically can, right? So in the same way that works, in the same way that communism, centralized economy, fails when it comes to regulating the market, and you should let the organic process and the competition and the conflict between different goods and services do its own thing. It's the same thing when it comes to ideas. You don't need educated experts to be able to decide what is correct and what is wrong. Even people who are uneducated, even people who are not as rational, the competition and conflict between them is going to the Darwinism, right? The Darwinism, the market Darwinism of ideas is going to eventually produce you the best results. This is the emergent property of systems that have certain amount of freedoms in it. The limitations should be only to the point that it protects the framework where this competition can take place, right? And the example I wanted to give you to make you understand is, like, imagine an ant and the ant colony. If you look at the ant colony, it acts in a way that it seems very, very intelligent. It acts very purposeful. It acts like it knows things, and acts like this is based on a very rational plan. But every single individual ant, if you look at how it operates, is not aware of any of these things. It's not aware of it has very simple tasks, and it's aware the information that is available to it is very, very limited. But if you put all of these ants together, the emergent property of all of them being together all of a sudden acts like it's much, much more wise than any single individual ant. This is how emergence works. Anyways, I'm not going to get into too philosophical for you guys, right? I don't know if did any of that make sense to anybody? Did any of that make sense to anybody, or was I just talking to myself? Let me know if you want more of that stuff or not. Anyways, thank you guys. I'm going to go see if I'm going to do a Persian show based on what's happening or based on if I have the time. I hope I get the time to do that. But make sure you like the stream. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you recommend this channel to as many people as you possibly can. But don't do that if it's not safe. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. And thank you for being here. And bye. And thank you, Alfred and Dolly, again.